So Garbu recorded today's video's audio because he said he was sick of me making a hack of it, and you know what happened? Garbu's audio sounds beautiful, but my audio sounds appalling. So it's not just me, Garbu, okay? I'm just putting this in here right now before you guys get into it. It's not that bad, honestly. The audio's it's serviceable, but it still could be a bit better. It sounds like what Garbu normally sounds like. So look, just like you guys would like to know that before we jump into it. Hey guys, what's happening? So you know what's happening today? More Garbu, more podcasts. You're gonna either cheer or be like, oh my god, please no, make the pain go away.
Where's Megan? Where did Megan go?
Megan's on Termini Online. We need to do an update video to let you guys know what
I can't believe he let Gabriel back on his fucking podcast.
No, not again.
I fucking hate him. I hate his guts. Anyway,
you know the best thing is, so on Termini Online we're getting a lot of new people in.
Oh, yeah?
Because that channel's not like shadow banned yet, somehow. Yeah. So we've been getting a lot of new people in, and like there's people calling us Scottish again, and we haven't had that in like a year and a half. People calling us Scottish, like please.
I haven't been called that name in a very long time.
Yeah, I haven't been called Scottish, and there was another person saying like, you guys like really aren't very professional because like you just keep like talking to each other, and like you're kind of like a mess. It's like, yeah, that's kind of what we are. We are like a bit of a mess. That's our style, okay? That's just what we do.
That's
here.
why we're here. We are a mess.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, today I saw this thread, and do you want to lead the title of the thread?
Sure.
I think we're going to bounce off this and do our own thing with it.
Let's move this to my main screen for one. Here we go. All right. Excuse me, Commissar, but since the Tyranids and the Orcs usually show little or no ability to deploy advanced tactics beyond charges, shouldn't we be making heavier use of fast cam and air and artillery deployed atomic weapons? Blam.
Yeah, don't be silly. Like, why would you be asking such questions? That's
Are you thinking for yourself, Guardsman?
So what I was thinking is, why don't we go through all the like major races of 40k, and let's see what tactics best suit a Guardsman. How would they adapt to it? Like, pretty much the thing is, Guardsmen have access to almost like everything that you can think of.
Well, they have access to everything they need for sure. I know that much.
Yeah. Whether or not they're gonna use that is another issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like let's go through it. So we'll go for the easy ones first, will we? Will we do that? Like the most easy, most basic ones. So let's go with Tyranids. That was our one. Very few liege weapons. They do have talons. They do have access to
Well,
talons.
it's mostly bioweapons, really.
Yeah. So what
Like,
would you say?
well,
are you going to even get close to them? Like
well,
the goal of a Tyranid is to eat you.
Yeah, so with the Tyranid, you just keep distance. Like, I don't know why when they're facing off against Tyranid, they'll just use like air spotter, air support, and artillery. Not just artillery, mobile artillery. Like a Tyranid can only like run forward so fast. If you have a tracked vehicle, you can just, I suppose if someone comes, I can hear the comments. Well, they'll just drop onto the planet and give them nowhere. It's a planet, okay? There's always be somewhere to run.
Yeah, there's going to be some space. Oh, should we put down some ground goals before people hit us with the action?
Oh, yeah. They're bringing a support ship and it's blasting surface of the planet in the glass. Fuck you, dude.
Okay.
All right, I know who you are in chat. I know who you are.
Right. Okay. So the thing is, so Guardsmen have to defend the planet, right? They cannot destroy the planet. The planet is far too valuable to be destroyed.
Planet must be saved. Yes.
Planet cannot be just sacrificed for.
It can't be turned to glass. Well, you turn them to surface of the planet to molten glass. God, you're so stupid, Garbro. Fuck you.
Yeah, I love that guy. I think it's fucking hilarious.
Triggers the fuck out of me, bro.
I know. That's what I love about it so much. So, let me go through some things that they have access to that I think would actually kind of clash against Tyranids. So I'm gonna say, honestly, I think most like Titans and stuff aren't gonna be that good. Okay, what they are good at is their mobile weapons platform. But what I'm gonna say that they're bad for is, honestly, Tyranids, could they not just like climb up a Titan?
I'm pretty sure they could easily find a way to go around Titan. I mean,
yeah, I feel like Titan would. It sounds like a Titan would, like, that's cool. When you think about it, it's like a Titan's Yudge. It's got big, huge cannons. What's going to stand up against a Titan? The problem is, Tyranids, there's loads of them. There's a sea of them, quite literally.
That's the thing with both, like, basically the defensive armor Titans. You're just gonna get swarmed by these mechanical bio beasts who are gonna at least tear the fucking barrel off or puke inside the fucking air holes. Like, the best thing to combat a Tyranid is from the air with fast movers, because Tyranids do have flyers. They have those.
So, in other words, Garbo, are we going to say that the Tyranids are like the Viet Cong, and you must simply apply napalm?
I mean, it's not the wrong thing to say. I mean, it's really not. It's basically like the Chinese wave. Oh, look, there's 10,000 of them. Hey, drop a fucking can of liquid bullshit on them and watch them all fry alive. That's why I don't get how, like, when GW does like a video, like, oh, here's Space Marines fighting Tyranids. Like, why are they on the ground within touching range of these fucking things? Get away! You have aircraft, you have air support, you have those giant ships in space and glass the surface. Like, why the hell are you even trying to fist fight these fucking things? Like, I get why, like, if you're in a city, like, oh, we gotta save the city, okay, you go in slowly and you start plowing away. You don't just charge in with these fucking things. You whittle them down until they... And it's with control weapons. Like, you use plasma and flame. You don't pull out a fucking bolt gun. Well, time to blast a fucking, a fucking nid.
So the one thing I would say about Tyranids is, like, they do have that, like, they can evolve very, very quickly to adapt to their surroundings. So, like, you can't use the same weapons on them for overly long. That is a big issue. So, like, let's say you start... I would say your best thing to use would be, like, a nerve agent, and you could really cheat... Well, again, you're talking about...
These are bio weapons.
You're talking about guard. You know what I mean? That sounds an awful like heresy mechanism with bio weapons.
The first thing we want to do, because these things need biomass, you would remove every fucking living thing you could from that planet. Usually probably just citizens and like your favorite dog, and like, all right, go into space, get out of here. And then you more or less either you do a virus bomb on that bitch and just sweep that bitch clean, or you start firebombing. Oh,
so I've got the idea. So when you see like them houses with the tents over them.
Oh. Fumigation.
Yeah, to like literally fumigate.
I will fumigate this entire goddamn planet.
Okay, so the problem with that is, does that count as the planet being like, are we destroying the planet? I would argue we're only destroying the planet for like 5 years though.
I mean, in
10 years.
In all realism, though, it always starts out with like a cult of some kind. You need like mandatory blood testing on all your citizens. Like, the Gene Stealer cults. I get that sometimes it's an easy access monster girl. I get that the Guardsman may have a weak moment. Like, well, it's got 4 titties. Yeah, but more or less, if you do like mandatory blood and DNA testing, you can mostly take care of the major problems with.
But the problem with that is, though, it's like it's always in the underhive, and people aren't being. It's like 1984. It's like the proletariat. They don't really have, the government doesn't have that much control over the people within the underhive. You know what I mean?
Control the people.
Yeah, exactly. So is that where will we move on to the next one? So Garbu's solution to dealing with Tyranids would be fumigating the planet.
Fumigation, like bed bugs, just fucking smoke them out.
Yeah, so it's like you smoke them out. It's kind of like, what do you call that? Oh fuck, no, it's gone from my mind. Sorry. What about orcs? No, you go for it.
Well, like basically a giant bug bomb on your fucking planet and call it a day.
Yeah, the problem is they do come from space, so you're gonna have to deal with it in orbit. But then that's finally.
We will release an AIDS bomb upon the planet. Give all the Tyranids AIDS.
Oh, I can't say what I wanted to say. Sorry, guys. That's going to be for Terminal Online, unhinged, uncensored. Guys, you're going to have to check that out if you want that.
Full Alex Jones and Tyranids.
Yeah, exactly. If you wanted that sort of stuff, sorry, guys.
We'll take all the Tyranids to Africa.
Anyway, orcs. So, orcs, very similar to Tyranids. They're a wee bit more sophisticated.
Yeah.
Wee bit.
They won't. I think orcs are easier than Tyranids. I mean, they're still a fucking problem. Let's be fair here, but at least they're very one-dimensional. No, like they don't need biomass. They just need to fight. Really, they just want to scrap. And in terms of like threat level, I know people are like, well, actually, shut the fuck up. All right. In terms of threat level, Tyranids are a lot more scary than orcs are. Orcs are probably the more fun combatant because you know what they're gonna do. There are a few odd orcs here and there who use tactics, but in terms of like, oh, an orc incursion, let's get this giant battalion of newbies and let's wet their ears with these orcs. Like, I would use orcs as a training opportunity more than like, hey, there's an orc fall on planet, Shitowix. We have a whole battalion of newbies. Let's go cut their teeth on these orcs and use them to train on. In my opinion, orcs are going to be the
orcs are the default enemy, I think.
Yeah.
It's just like pretty much most planets have some form of orc infestation to a certain extent. Like, even if they think they've destroyed them all, give it like 10-15 years, they're going to be back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so hard to completely wipe out. Like, even if just 1 or 2 survive, you're pretty much done for. Again, back to it's kind of like bed bugs. You're just fucked, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're going to have to fumigate. Very similar.
If it's not Tyrian eggs, it's orc spores. That's how it is.
So the only thing I would say is orcs do have a lot more ranged weapons. Like, they make more use of them. Well, not really, actually, come to think, but it's about the same, and they're both as accurate. The only thing I would change is use more like auto weapons, use more like big explosive weapons. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Make it the weapons you need to use needs to be orky. Make it feel like they're giving a good DACA. You know what I mean?
See, what I don't get is why they don't like. It always seems this way. It seems like in all the 40k books and all that, they don't really negotiate with like the orcs can be negotiated with. I mean, there are mercenary orc, they're freebooters and all that. I mean, there are mercenary orc contingents that you could say, hey, orcs, I know you want to fight. That's fine and all, but I don't know why the Imperial doesn't like you do the Eldar thing with, or like you steer like you could fight us, or you could go fight those guys and put them towards
These guys aren't super fighty. No, what you do is you give them like the worst fight of their life, make it the most boring fight ever, and then just like steer them in the right direction. You know what I can really imagine, especially on like a lot of planets. I could see like say there's a hive on one side of the planet, there's a hive on the other. I could really just see like one of the hives like paying off or in some way like filling the orcs. This is the thing with orcs, you can outmaneuver them, you can out-trick them. You know what an orc is always going to do. Like, okay, brutally cunning and cunningly brutal. Which one isn't Mork and Gork? I can't remember.
It's Gork and Mork, yeah.
Yeah, but that's the whole point, is that like, no one actually knows which one is the more cunning. I suppose orcs can be quite cunning when they want to be, but I think if you really if a human really set their mind to it, I think a more than competent commissar would be able to outsmart an orc. You know what I mean? I don't think that's saying much.
I mean, because orcs are very straightforward. That's when I rush in and fight them in melee. I mean, if you want to bore an orc, you have like 10 dudes on the back of a fucking chimera just blinking as you drive away, and you more or less you would fight the orcs via boredom. Like, you could keep fighting us and be this exact same way the entire time, or I hear those Tyranids love fighting in melee.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
You know what, orcs? We're so sorry. We're gonna give you a ship to get there. How's that sound? Like, you literally just kind of like steer them towards, like, in my opinion, orcs are kind of like a funny claymore. You kind of point towards a general direction and go, how would you go fuck up those guys?
Yeah, you know what? I appreciate that. I think that's the best way to deal with it. Just don't engage them, or if you are going to engage them, make it super boring that they just lose interest. Just drive a guy.
I don't like fighting these ones.
Yeah,
all I do is run away.
Do the Mongolian tactics, just never let them get in contact with you and just like outmaneuver them. And just do the whole Eldar thing and just like fly about, never let them get close to you, and like just bore them to death and be like, do you want to go fight some Tyranids? Like, yes, please, I would love to fight Tyranid. Please show me the way to the Tyranid. We'll show you. There you go. So where will we go next? So at the minute, Tyranids against Guardsman. Guardsman should fumigate. We got orcs just fumigate and bored to death. That sounds pretty good so far. Now let's go for one that they are definitely going to have a lot of problems with, and I think one that they're going to have some of the most issues with is Necrons. I think Necrons would be a little hard one, because the problem is with Necrons, they come from under the planet.
Well, that and the fact that Necrons are basically walking machines that can get back up, and las guns, I mean, basically, it's more or less can bring all the heavy weapons you can, use a lot of plasma, use a lot of like the las gun emplacements, use the heavy bolters, because I mean it's a Necron. They're basically walking tanks, and that's not discussing the ones that wear flesh. Okay, like they're what are they called? Not flares. They're
flares.
Flares. Oh yes, just wear like skin.
Yeah. So I would say, like, what weapons do they have? Like, plasma is pretty good, but they're never going to get enough plasma to do anything. Las cannons. So yeah, a lot of Laz Cannon teams.
I'll say first, just don't wake them. Don't wake. There's Necrons here. We're leaving. You just leave. Like, oh my gosh, you found Necron. No. He's fucking like, get back on the ship. We're out of here. Because I mean, you when you read enough of the books, understand the lore. Necrons just kind of fuck up everything they touch. Like a lot a lot of times. Well, sorry.
I don't think there's pretty much no good matchups against Necrons. Very, very few. Like they just seem to like. Even Tyranids aren't even that fussed on them. Like Tyranids don't even really want to go out.
Well, there's no biomass.
Well, there's still something to eat, but it's not like they don't seem to carry that much. Also, Necrons don't have what's their faster than light travel? Do they use a webway?
Actually, I'll look at that.
I can't remember. That's something that you, or do they use deep sleep? They move slowly, don't they? I can't remember.
I think they go to sleep or something, but
that's one thing that you could outmaneuver them with. Definitely would be their faster than light travel. I don't know if honestly
the Dolmen Gate taps the webway. Okay.
Oh, yes. So, yeah, pretty much, Imperial Guard, unless you've got, like, a stupid amount of Imperial Guard, you're probably just going to lose against Necrons, I'm sorry.
Just give the nice bony boys the planet and don't bother them. Like, it may sound lame, but, like, literally, no one wants to fight a fucking Necron. You go, you know what? Our bad. We'll get going. Like, because there's no winning, man.
I wish I would have a better response. I think, like, even, like, Space Marines have a bad matchup with Necrons. You know what I mean? Necrons they're just really strong.
I gotta hear the comment section, but basically, I mean, the power level of a Necron. I mean, there's a Necron Lord who steals Space Marines for display. Like, they're just not to be trifled with. Like, I mean, it's just like, oh, we appear to have disturbed these Necrons. Whoops! If you fucking leave before they turn you inside out. Because I mean, it's like. They're Necrons who wear people for fun. They don't. They don't always die. It's just. It's not worth it, man. Like no planet is worth trying to grind out an entire. What do they call themselves? A full Necron dynasty who's just been like sleeping on a planet. Because imagine how you are when you're taking a nice long nap and some fuckhead kid wakes you up. You're gonna fucking destroy their entire family.
Yeah. I honestly like pretty much any planet that has like a Necron is a Tomb World.
Tomb World, yeah.
It's pretty much fucked. You really are just fucked if they wake up. And also, like, if it is just Guardsmen there, they're going to get reinforcements. They are going to get Space Marines showing up. They will be asking for a lot of help from anyone else nearby. But they just will.
But like, is that lemon worth the squeeze? Like how important is this fucking planet? Because if a planet's so important that you have to go and try and grind through a fucking Necron dynasty, it better be a very important fucking planet.
The only planet I would say would be Forge Worlds and Shrine Worlds, and that would. I don't think they would. I don't think the Imperium would. It depends. It really does depend. It depends. Like I don't know. That's a hard one. It really does depend on the planet. And if it is Necrons, they're going to get back up. The Imperial Guard aren't going to be fighting alone. They just won't be. You know.
Would you say that? I mean, in your opinion, do you think some of the Necron lords and all the little Acrotechs and all like, I know some will negotiate and some won't. That always kind of bother me. There's no real clear consistency between all them because like some Necrons are quite amicable.
Yeah, that's a problem. Sure, was it not? I can't remember. It was Blood Angels teamed up with Necrons to fight Tyranids at one point. That was a few years back, and everyone kicked up a big fuss about it because it was whenever they like changed the Necron gore from being like they're pretty much like cold dead machines to like giving them a lot more personality. You know, it's hard to say. It depends if you're working with new gore or old gore. Personally, I tend to just like keep with the old gore and like ignore everything after like a certain point. Like, you know, to me, Guilliman is not a week in my 40k. If I was to sit down and start playing 40k, Guilliman is not a week in my.
Guilliman's not fucking elves. It's not my canon. It's not. But like,
well, honestly, but that's the thing. Like, you know, I don't know. Look, okay, let's move on because I don't think there's anything else we can really say on Necrons, and I feel like we're just gonna keep going. And
Necrons be confusing. I think we'll settle on that.
Yeah.
Hey guys, do you like models in your tabletop role-playing games? 'Cause we do too. Do you like having big bitty waifus on your table? 'Cause we do too. We got human biddies, we got lizard biddies, we got orc biddies, oni biddies, cat bussies. We've got everything you want at neckbeardia.co.uk.
Check the links down below. It helps us out a lot.
Sorry for interrupting the video. Let's get on with the story. Also, and the winner of the daily giveaway is this guy. Yay! Woo! Woo!
Look, anyway, in for a chance to win, all you gotta do is like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, automatically entered in.
And to claim the prize, you just send an email to neckbeardiacontact@gmail.com. Let's get back to the video.
Okay, what do you want to go for next? Do you want to put all chaos together, or are we going to
Yeah, we'll do all chaos, and it's just gonna suck ass no matter what you do. So the preliminary the preliminary combats against chaos are gonna be all the cultists, and that's gonna be a pretty one-sided a pretty one-sided affair for the guardsmen. It's gonna blast through them. However, when things get a bit more spicy, it's gonna start turning not towards the oh, we have a bunch of cultists, we'll just wipe them out, no problem. Sending chimeras and infantry, and you're fighting basically rogue guardsmen. No big deal. Yeah. But when the fucking multi-dick terrorists are getting summoned, it's gonna change quite like, all right, boy, you kill the cultists. What's that moaning noise? You know, like it's
all
gonna.
Right, okay. All right, I know. We'll make it a bit more interesting. What would be the worst chaos god to fight? So
Nurgle.
Well, yeah, I think Zombie Planet's gonna be
that would suck because with corn it'll be kind of coppery, you know, kind of bloody. It's fine with Zinch. I swear to God, that guy smells like cotton candy. You can't tell me he doesn't. All right.
Well, you are okay. Well, it's pretty much you're going to get leaped to death if you're going up against Slash.
I mean, there are worse worse ways to go.
Yeah, I suppose. The other thing is going up against Zeech. Zeech, I don't know, man. The problem is, I'm just not the biggest Zeech fan. That's really what it comes.
He's kind of a fucking prat.
Yeah, there's just the whole. I don't know what's a meme or what.
Just as planned.
Yeah, it feels like they just change it so much to the point of I really have no idea. I don't even have like a clear opinion on Zeech anymore. Like the amount of memes to actual gore is just blended together so heavily. I don't know. Maybe it's just not for me personally. So would you go? What would you say? Slash or Nurgle? Worst ones to fight?
It'd be Nurgle because Nurgle, the whole planet's gonna smell like shit. You can't touch anything. If someone touches you, you're gonna get infected. Even just breathing in the air is going to be enough to get you sick, or you're gonna catch some kind of awful fucking like space AIDS or some shit. Like there's no winning move. It's just like ugh. And
they've successfully grasped the planet with AIDS.
I mean, like,
unironically.
I mean, it just seems like trying to fight Nurgle is just gonna suck absolute ass. Plus, when your buddy dies, Nurgle's gonna bring that fucker back as a goddamn plague zombie. Like, it's just you're basically fighting a really, really, really smelly necromancer. No one wants that.
Yeah. So what about, let's put some Marines in then. What tactics would a guardsman use against Space Marines?
Oh, like if they're fighting Space Marines? Ugh.
Yeah.
I mean...
heavy weapon teams, maybe las cannons per se, maybe some heavy bolters.
Well, we can lean off of the... Like, I think the Astartes animated series does a good job of explaining how that would be, because you would need extremely heavy weapons to punch through that Ceramite armor. You would need basically suicide bombers. Like because there's one scene where the guy's in the hallway and the guy with the fucking anti-tank mines trying to get up on the Space Marine, but you need like 20 of those. And it's like basically like anime glomp your fucking Space Marine with all these fucking mines or C4 to try and set that bitch off. Even then, it might not actually work.
Yeah, that's another thing that kind of gets me. Like, to me, Chaos Space Marines should be a lot stronger than actual Space Marines because they've got all those Chaos God.
You would think, right? Like
that's the way I would view it.
Yeah, like say a World Eater fighting another Space Marine, it should be like a one-step contest. Technically, even a Thunder Warrior can destroy like 10 Space Marines. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think the writers have done a good job in the recent decade with really.
You know, oh, do you want to hear a mad one? Fuck, it's almost been 10 years since Age of Sigmar came out. That really shook me.
Who?
I was like, no way. Apparently, Age of what
dead
year
game.
Age of Sigmar.
Age of Smegma.
Oh wait, no. When did? Yeah, it came out 4th of July 2015. It's not that far away.
Oh goodness, I haven't played that game once. I think it's dog shit.
I played it once, so I did.
Traitor.
I made what was it? I made it was an undead. It was a skeleton horde army.
Oh yeah.
I made that.
The what will they call them? The rattle bones or like rattle something? Rattle bones.
Honestly, you know what it was? I just really loved the look of that. What was it? Was it black? What do you call them? Black Hand? It's not Nagash. Well, I've got a Nagash model, so I do. I bought a Nagash model after though. What's the other one? Nakark? I can't remember.
Bro, don't even ask me. That because me that entire thing is basically bad fan fiction. I know where.
Yeah, you know, I was really looking at. I'm really tempted to get back into a war game again. I'm really tempted, but I just feel like at the moment.
Song of Ice and Fire. Best entry level game.
I'm really tempted. It's either that or I would love the Star Wars one.
Oh, Legion? Hell yeah, brother.
But the one that's really big at the minute is the Lord of the Rings one. That's like seems to be the biggest one that's going on over here at the minute. You know?
Yeah,
so,
that game fucking sucks. Okay, chat. A quick game break here. The Lord of the Rings battle game is I fucking hate it because up in the combat, you come up, you roll. Obviously, who wins that little? It's basically model on model. You roll. Yeah. If your model wins, it pushes the bad guy away, and you roll to wound. If you roll the wound, it just kills it. I think it's stupid.
Yeah. Well, then, but again, you know what? That's the biggest issue when it comes.
Now, what you could do, James, is you could buy the brand new Care Bear army that's in Star Wars Legion and beat people to death with little bitty bears.
No, for me, I was really looking at House Bolton, so I was.
Oh, yeah.
I was really looking at House Bolton.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't care. I think that House Bolton's the best.
So House Bolton can fire into like their own melees, and it does like special damage because anyone can fire into a melee to try and shoot a target, but the House Bolton gets a bonus for shooting into their own melees or some shit.
I don't know. I thought that they had some pretty cool looking models, and I did like them. And pardon me, I did enjoy them. But anyway, look, enough of that. Let's get back onto it. So, Space Marines are pretty much fucked against Chaos Space.
I mean, in terms of anything else, Imperial Guardsmen don't want to fight anything not their own general size. Like orcs are gonna be tough, but you have catechins, you have weapons, which is fine. If they're fighting like Space Marines or Chaos Space Marines, they're gonna be uphill. Fucked without a fucking no boat, no canoe, no shoes, no underwear, just fucked.
Yeah,
you have to hope you get lucky and take out a Space Marine as he kills 100 of your own fucking dudes. Like it's just not great. Like I know someone's gonna say blah blah blah, swamp them, drown them in bodies, which is fine, I guess. But in terms of actual combat power in the lore, a Space Marine can chew through 1,000 fucking Guardsmen. You just gotta get in close enough to where they can't run away. I mean, I don't like how canonically they like. Oh yeah, we have 20 bolter rounds and no ammo pockets. Okay, that's fucking whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But if a Space Marine or God forbid a Chaos Space Marine gets in melee combat, basically they're wearing giant armored head smashers on their hands, just squish, or you backhand some poor fucker and his head explodes. Like it's a goddamn Space Marine. I
imagine like a fight with like Guardsman versus like a Space Marine would be something similar to like some 6'7", like literally going up against toddlers.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like literally like toddlers. That's what you deal with. Like there's just not a chance.
He is my mightiest Pitbull.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I imagine. Okay, that's what a world eater is. A world eater is literally a pit bull.
A big ass one of the pit bull in a fucking room full of toddlers. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're dealing with.
Like, yeah, sure. Eventually, if you keep feeding them toddlers, the pit bull will get tired. However, he's gonna slaughter a fuckload of goddamn toddlers.
And the thing is, Space Marines they've got some serious endurance. What is it they can do? They can do like something like I can't remember how long, but they don't need to sleep all that much.
Well, they can actually sleep while they're awake. They actually REM cycle while they're awake. But but like in terms of the table, like put it in perspective for those of you who haven't played 40K, or those of you who have seen what how the game is, a 40K Space Marine army on tabletop should be about 10 dudes. Like they should be like they should be like the custodian. Like a custodian's army should be 2 dudes. Like just represent the correct power level. It's just they just feel in need. Well, they don't want to because they want to sell more models. I get that.
Yeah. Well, the way I do the math is I imagine one Guardsman model is about 100 Guardsmen. And
one Space Marine model,
so one Space Marine model is one Space Marine, and then like one Eldar model is more like 3 Eldar, and then like a Guardsman is maybe even 100 or even maybe 1,000. It just depends. You know what I mean? Orc, I would do the same about. I would do an orc would be 1 orc would equal to be about 5 orcs.
I don't get how they'll try and say like, oh, an orc can just chop through Space Marine armor. No, they can't. What the? You cannot take a chopper and just go, LOL, your arm joint's gone. It's not how that works. It's not any of that shit works.
But was it shiny enough though?
But was it shiny enough, boys?
Exactly. There we go. There we go. So
up against Chopper shiny.
So up against Chaos Space Marines are kind of fucked then.
Well, any Space Marine they're fucked. Anything that looks like Lionel Johnson. If that thing showed up to a fucking battlefield, anything is fucked. If Dante showed up, an entire battalion would be fucked. Just, like there's no safe haven for a guardsman fighting anything that has I don't know shit called power armor. Like, and the thing is, these guys are toned down. The Thunder Warriors were 10 times fucking worse.
Well, like, the only thing I can think of is, like, again, heavy weapons teams is their only true answer with a las cannon to the chest, but even then, you're going to take a couple of las cannons.
Well, it'll take a few las cannons to try and burn through all the layers of armor. And God forbid the Space Marine has some kind of, like, old tech, like, oh yeah, here's a personal void shield. Fuck! You're trying to burn through that fucking thing.
Right,
like, imagine, like, okay, guys, we got to fight a Chaos Space Marine. Does he have a name? Huh? Does he have a name? Oh, yeah, it's McJorson ass banging. Fuck, we're all dead, man. Like, if you're fighting a Space Marine who has a well-known name, just go home. Let's go. I don't want to be here no more. I'm leaving.
I'm sorry, man. You just were not meant to make it.
Looks like we're fighting this army. Oh, who's leading it? Some Space Marine. Does he have a name?
Jesus Christ.
Is there a sergeant or a captain in front of his name by chance?
Do you want to? Will we pit in Sisters of Battle? Will we pit up Guards against Sisters of Battle just for the balance?
I mean,
it's pretty much the same as Space Marines, but not as strong.
Kind of. I mean, they are both normal people in terms of what they are. There aren't really a lot of battle augments in a Sister of Battle. However, one does have a subsect of power armor. The Imperial Guard have carapace armor and a few special things here and there. Sisters of Battle wear power armor, which I don't understand why they can't give the Guardsmen a kind of mild power armor. And I can't, because it always vexed me how, like, you have Sisters of Battle who all apparently, well, except for the ones who are just wearing fucking prayer wrappers.
Well, but the way I would view it is, so Sisters of Battle are funded through the Ecclesiarchy, and I'm going to assume the Ecclesiarchy have got very deep pockets, to say the least.
Is there like a more rigorous aspect for hiring or recruiting the Sisters of Battle? Like, because I assume not every chick can be a Sister of Battle. I guess so they have to be a religious fanatic, I believe, wouldn't they?
You would need to be a religious fanatic. You do. I don't know the test. I'm going to assume it's similar to like a Space Marine training, but like nowhere near as intense. You know?
So I guess in that regard, you could say, in simple terms of martial prowess, despite being female, they are in fact still wearing battle armor, battle tested, and chosen from the meanest pup of the bunch. Because I believe any Joe or Jane can be an Imperial Guardsman. They just gotta get a quick boot camp and they're good to go. A Sisters of Battle they're basically battle tested and they're basically fighting each other for the right to wear that power armor. So I think in that regard, I mean, it'd be the same thing as Space Marines.
They're just shit. They're just shit tier Space Marines. Essentially,
Yeah.
Everything that's true for a Space Marine is true for a sister battle, just not as much.
Well, I guess you could say, in terms of all of them, Orcs could run still, Tyranids could run still. I don't think a sister's going to fucking run. A Space Marine ain't going to fucking run. This is going to crush you.
Yeah, no, that's one of the other things as well. Like, fear no fear and all that sort of stuff. Space Marines, again, Pitbull in a corner, Pitbull in a corner into a room full of Toddlers, you're pretty much fucked.
I'm pretty sure, like,
even if the Toddlers did manage to surround the Pitbull and pack it into a corner with sticks, you're probably still not going to win.
You're still trapped with a Pitbull in the same room.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of like mental visibility, I think they would say, "Hey, sister, you gotta fight Space Marine," and they would go, like whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so what? And again, I'm going to assume to the battle guy, their most common enemy would be Renegade Imperial Guardsman. So
yeah,
they're
Guardsman.
They're very used to dealing with Imperial Guard.
Some asshole.
Yeah, pretty much. Like very similar. So who do we have left? I think it's only Lily Tai, or is there anyone else?
Okay, so we'll address Eldar real quick. They're gonna fight Eldar through breeding. Okay, now here's.
Garb, why?
What?
Why are you putting an Eldar into your spots?
If we can't fight them out, we will breed them out. Gullyman did it. Okay, it's a possibility.
Fair enough. I'll get you that one. So the problem with Eldar is it's the complete opposite of everyone else so far.
Literally,
How do you get a hold of them? I think Eldar, once you can pin them down, if you can corner them, but you're not going to be able to corner them.
It's going to be extremely hard to corner. And I do think, again, the riders really do fuck up riding Eldar, because Eldar should be near-eye impossible to corner, because they have the utmost highest level of survival instinct after, fucking a god to existence.
They can outmaneuver you. They've got the web way. They can travel faster than you.
And even
you're probably never going to make contact with them. Also, Eldar are naturally incredibly fast.
Well, yeah. So like even their most basic troopers are going to blow a regular guardsman out of the fucking water. Like a squad of guardians is going to be absolutely clowning on a squad of guardsmen.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure most Eldar can literally jet out avoid, move out of the way of most Gazguns, if I be honest with you.
I mean, if they wrote them cool, yeah, probably. The biggest problem here is fucking writing.
But Eldar, I don't know how the fuck Guardsmen are going to beat Eldar, because Eldar would never meet them in a fair fight anyway. It would Chittenberg Forest 2.0, but Eldar instead. You know what I mean? They're gonna get the Guardsmen when they're not in formation. They're gonna hit them in any way possible. They're never gonna meet them head on. The Guardsmen are never gonna be able to actually get a good hit on them ever. I don't know how they win. I don't even think Eldar would choose. They would never even choose to fight the Guardsmen anyway. They would just go around them. Or,
to be quite fair, I don't think they really want to fight anybody. I mean, they're Eldar. No, they're trying to recover their species numbers, and they've been doing that for the last 2,000 years. I don't see why they would meet anyone in open conflict unless they really, really, really had to. There was some big ass fucking chaos doodad. Oh fuck, we gotta go. And even then, they would still. I mean, I don't know why they don't do this more in the books. The Eldar would be the biggest team uppers. To be, hey, let's take care of this problem, and we'll go our separate ways afterwards. Because
they do that quite a bit. They do that from time to time.
But not enough. Because in terms of lore, their population is so fucking low. They are basically barely surviving on in their little craft worlds and all that. Except for the what are the savage ones called again?
What, Dark Eldar are you on about?
No. The ones that ride dinosaurs and shit.
Oh, Exodites.
Thank you, Exodites. Exodites are doing fine, but basically the space Amish. So not exactly going out and fighting anyone.
They may as well be. Will we throw on Dark Eldar on the side? Dark Eldar are not going to meet in battle ever. They're little pilots.
Dark Eldar are going to raid and steal your wife and use her as a fucking pleasure device. That's what. That's kind of what they do.
They're going to turn you into a coffee table and keep you alive for a few million years.
A living coffee table, yeah.
That's literally their.
And we'll never use coasters. No.
you know, that's pretty much it. I don't think they would have no interest in Dark Eldar. Honestly, as much as I love Dark Eldar, I don't know if they make sense to be an army on the tabletop, if I'm completely honest with you.
I mean,
because to me, it makes no sense for okay, maybe you could have Dark Eldar going up against Imperial Guard from time to time if the Imperial Guard managed to get like the Planetary Defense Force up and running.
yeah.
But Eldar would be in and out before they even get that shit together. You know what I mean? Like, to me, like a Dark Eldar lead should be no longer than like 12 hours, and that's it.
I'm trying to think of why would Dark Eldar or Eldar face another army in open combat? Like, unless you're unless you're attacking a craft world, which has happened a few times. But why would Dark Eldar meet in open field for combat?
I could see Dark Eldar trying it with some Space Marines just to get maybe some combatants for the arena, maybe. But they're not going to fight them head on. They're going to try and like capture them in some way, shape, or form. Dark Eldar are not going to fight fire. They're never going to like meet you in a battlefield. They're just not. They're going to be way worse than even just normal Eldar, and normal Eldar aren't going to meet you in a battlefield either.
Yeah, so because open battle is like unless you have the population, open combat and open field. Or on a battlefield in a city, whatever it have, not just like literally open field. Meeting a combatant open field, you have to have the numbers the numbers and goal to do that. Like against Tyranids, they want to try and eat you, so open combat's pretty easy. Orcs, they just want to fight. Open combat, pretty easy. Eldar, they don't want to fight you. They don't want to die in mass. If there's a goal in mind, they want to achieve that goal, whatever that goal may be. But to meet another army like Space Marines or Imperial Guard with artillery and tanks, meet them in open combat. Why would they do that? What's their goal? Why wouldn't they just hit and run? You come in, scalpel thin and surgical strike, and you pop out, because that way you minimize damage, you minimize losses, and you're not losing your 2,000-year-old Eldar waifu to a fucking 27-year-old dude who has a plasma gun. Like it's just
it just doesn't add up. So let's run through it. Oh, is there anyone else? Oh, should we do Leagues of Voltan? Or whatever you call them? Or I don't care much.
You mean Rock and Stone the army?
Yeah, like I don't. You know, okay. So I said about this before. So what gets me about the new squad models is SWAT models very, very different. The original ones, they were literally like space trucker.
Yeah, they were. They had ball caps.
Yeah, like, they were space trucker dwarves. Everyone loved them, really cool. And whenever they've got them back, they've made them into like StarCraft, which is really weird because when you think about it, originally StarCraft wanted 40k IP, but Games Workshop said no, we're going to pass on that. So they made like as close as StarCraft. They tried to make as close as they possibly could to 40k, and now Games Workshop is now copying StarCraft to recreate squads. I don't know. It just don't make no sense.
I just think that they dropped the ball so hard. Like, they had a layup. All they do is bring back the fucking space dwarves, and it would have been fine. But they want to do something different. Leagues of Voltan, and they just fucked it. Like, I could not be more disappointed with what they did, because it wasn't a hard to do. They had to go back, hey, let's do this design, update this, update that, put it in plastic, let's print money. Instead of well, they're all clones of each other, you see, and like ugh, and it's just shit. Like,
these two models are kind of cool. What's that?
Well,
Cal and Third Destin.
They have some of them. They have some of them who hit the marks, like Grimnir and the Space Slayers. They still touch on the old dwarven aesthetic. Yeah, those guys, berserkers. Those look pretty good. But like,
yeah, they do. They're kind of cool.
But they just had to bring back. It wasn't hard. Just bring back the fucking. I mean, the fucking old dwarves, and like,
give me space truckers, god damn it.
Yeah, and then like that vehicle there is basically from fucking Armageddon, the fucking miner truck they were on the fucking asteroid in.
Oh yeah,
that's literally that.
Is. Oh my god, it is. What have they done?
Like,
oh my god, it is.
I just don't get it. I really don't. Yeah. I don't understand how they dropped the ball this hard. People did not want like fucking cloning space dwarfs who have like space what are they called in fucking StarCraft? Not Space Marines, just the
they're just called
the marine armor, or these weird like self-contained units. They just wanted space trucker dwarves with using fucking like AR-15 pistols, for God's sakes.
Yeah, I would have been happy.
Like right there. Look, no dwarf would use that fucking vehicle. It's too dumb looking. It's not efficient. I mean, look at that fucking thing. It's a big, chunky thing with tiny little wheels. I mean, I like the fact there are female dwarves. They could have a bigger beard, but I mean, I'm glad they tried. But still, no one asked for this shit. I said, hey, bring back squats. They said, cool, we're not gonna do that. Have dwarven space marines. God damn it! Like,
damn it again.
Yeah, I mean, actually, don't go back. Yeah, so go down. Go down. Go down. Well, go down. Yeah, to the Hearthkin warriors.
These ones here.
Yeah. Now look at it. Those are just midget primaris. That's all they are.
Yeah, they literally are. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of like the grinded.
Like look, what is dwarfy about this fucking unit except for like it got runes on it. Hey boys, we got runes on our weapons. Look like we're space dwarves. Like, no, there's nothing dwarfy about this shit. Like, even Rock and Stone has more dwarf armor than this shit.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. Not
like,
gonna lie.
It's just disappointing. And they wouldn't use space sword. They would have like space laser axes or space laser hammers. Nope, they got swords. It's just, I cannot stand it, man.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother because I feel like I don't know enough about the gore. Because honestly, I ain't fucking read it because it's just too far. Yeah, I just haven't read it, so I don't know anything about squats.
You are Reddit. No.
Okay, is there anyone else? Anyone else that we've missed? We haven't done SWATs. We've done Tyranids. Ty. We haven't touched on Ty.
Oh,
yet.
Tau. We would take all the manga away.
Yeah. Oh my god. So Ty, I think, would be the hardest.
Yeah, because they would act like basically the Imperial Guard. They are in all regards Imperial Guard, just different. Like they
are, but done competently.
Yeah.
If the Imperial Guard was competent,
they fight from afar. They use heavy range. They use shields. They use mechs. They use advanced infantry and they use advanced infantry vehicle combat. They have their like the Kroot skirmishers. And all that.
Here, even then, you could bring it in. You could say the Imperial Guard should be using orcs. They should be using orcs like they should, like the Taus could.
The only issue is that their breasts aren't big enough.
Oh, that's such a shame. That's such a shame. You ruined it.
I am still waiting for for GW to finally bow their heads to the fucking waifu grifters who want like big titty blueberries.
They're gonna do it someday. I think they will eventually. Oh, here. So actually, you know what? While we're on this topic, I feel like it's kind of related. So,
since we're on the topic of blueberries.
Well, no, it's kind of off, but okay. So if we're gonna talk about it in the sense of Ty, or if Imperial Guard were more competent, they would act more like Ty. Essentially, is that fair to say?
Yes, they would use their troopers and vehicles more logically.
Yeah. And they would use maybe a lot of these aliens that aren't half as much issue. Maybe they could use them as mercenaries instead of just exterminating them all the time. Not not all aliens need to be exterminated automatically. Like some do, yes, but not all of them. Anyway, I was thinking about this. So this kind of reminds me of I was thinking about the comparison between the German World War I army and the German World War II army. And one of the things is, I would argue that the German World War I army is far superior than the German World War II army in almost every way, except for technology, and that's because it just happened later. Do you know what I mean? Mm. So that's the only part that I would give personally to the German World War II army. And why is the German World War I army so superior? Well, you don't have leotards in charge. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, you do have like Heinz Guderian, you got Rommel, some of the best generals of all time. However, for every like Heinz Guderian, you've got a fucking Hermann Göring, for God's sake. You know what I mean?
Just fucking the pie the entire time. Yeah,
you've got you just don't have that. Now, don't get me wrong, what works as well is, so yeah, German World War I army, yeah, you've still got people like Prince Ludwig, and you've got Wilhelm, but whenever like the times get tough, like, you know, the generals are able to like just tell Wilhelm to like, yeah, you just go sit in the corner, yeah, you can be in charge of that over there, something that doesn't mean anything, let the actual like generals be in charge.
Go be in charge of the nurses, fuck off.
Yeah, well, that's what they were able to do, and they were able to do it, and the Kaiser was still able to keep face. Does that make sense?
Mm.
it doesn't happen in World War II. World War II, you're stuck with Hitler, for God's sake. Now, don't get me wrong, Hitler's a great gambler, and some of his gambles pay off, but he trusts a lot of the fucking worst people. And honestly, see, when it comes to like a lot of like leadership, let's say you have a room of 10, you've got to pick. I'm going to pick my top 10 commanders. Yeah, no, well, yeah, that's we got yes men. But let's say if you wanted to pick the top 10 generals of the 20th century, is Hitler even going to get an list?
No,
does that make sense? He's going to be down the hall somewhere.
He'll be serving tea in the room next door to all the fucking wives who are waiting for their husband to get out of the actual general, General Rotundra.
And you could argue the exact same thing, I feel, for the Imperial Guard. Don't get me wrong, a lot of great generals, some amazing generals the Imperial Guard have, but for every good one, you've got about a million fucking retards. It shouldn't be
absolute mouth breathers, yeah. And yeah, I hate how GW has like established that as like lore. And like, are you telling me that, because it seems so backwards that this huge military projected force would just so carelessly use lemon rust tanks and fucking all these artillery pieces and dudes like, oh, just throw them forward, they'll figure it out. Like, no one would do that. And I think it's why I find 40K so frustrating too.
Yeah, but you get what I'm trying to come to.
Yeah, I
do feel like the Imperial Guard are just sometimes they just do stupid shit. You know what I mean? And again, this is another thing that I think completely fucked the Germans in World War II up. What if they had went into Eastern Europe not as an army of extermination, but what if they went in as an army of liberators? You could have a lot of, pretty much all of Eastern Europe fighting.
You are being rescued. Do not resist.
Yeah, exactly. But they could have pulled that off. They could have pulled that off. And instead, they end up making more enemies than what it's worth. And again, every time you've got someone like fucking Goran being like, oh yeah, that's the biggest problem. Look at the German army in World War II. What part of the army underperforms every fucking time? It's German Air Force. Every time, it just does not perform the way it should.
Hey, let's fly our aces till they die. And not have them teach.
But that's the problem. You know what I mean? There's just so many examples of that
which is why in my smut book, the assassination attempt on Hitler actually succeeds.
Oh, that makes sense. Well, again, that would be one of the things. Like, would you ever want, if you could kill anyone in the German army, you would not want to kill Hitler. You would not want to kill Goran. You know what I mean?
The hell I wouldn't.
You want to keep them in power for as long as humanly possible. You know what I mean? Like, that's really what it comes down to. And I feel like this is it's the exact same thing. I feel like the Tau are way more competent, much like the German army in World War I. They're a lot more competent. And again,
let's be quite frank here. If the Tau wanted to truly take over the Imperial Guard, they would formulate all the female Tau just to be big titty blueberries, and would slowly take over all fucking the human. Like, if you join us, you get a free blueberry wife. There you go, and it'd be like basically legions of dudes going yes, and like.
What's that meme of who was it? Was it what do you call you want to charge the SS? The weird looking fella, the chicken farmer one.
Chicken farmer?
Yeah, he was a chicken farmer, so he was at one point in his life. Anyway, it's like, you don't get it, Gerb. It's all about the
Heinrich
Aryan
Himmler?
wife. Yeah, yeah, that's another one. It feels like that's an ultimate simulation theory going on there. Like, will you tell me Hitler was best mates with Hitler and Himmler hanging out together? Fuck off. That's like Mario and Luigi shit right there.
Hey, it's H&H, how you guys doing? Plotting German overthrowing? Oh, you two.
I don't know, that's what it feels like. Is there anywhere else we can go with this, or do you want to wrap up?
I don't know. I just hate. I want to wrap it by saying that the 40K lore and writers keep fucking the pooch every goddamn second. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
Like they have every resource to write a competent like lore book or like a competent story or things that just make sense, and they just won't do it. I get that sometimes you want like the over the top coolness like Warhounds and Titans, and I get that, but you can't just throw out military like tactics and minutia out the windows for the sake of storytelling. Like, we lost 1 million Guardsmen. Victory. Like, that's not. No one would throw away 1 million lives for a single combat, even if you have 13 trillion quintillion people. It's still stupid because it's a big ass waste of money.
Again, that's one of the biggest things with the Imperium. It feels like they have so much wastage. Everything.
Wastage, it's not efficient.
That's the thing. They're just not efficient. The only thing that's efficient, I would argue, are space marines. Even then, a lot of time they have a lot of wastage. A lot of it. I don't know. So, in short, let's go over it. So, Imperial Guardsmen just need to fumigate Tyranids. Orcs, they need to recruit them and make them bored.
Yeah, just recruit them. Like, hey, you guys want some really good fights?
Necrons, Guardsmen get curb stomped. Eldar, Guardsmen get curb stomped. TIE, Guardsmen get curb stomped. Dark Eldar, Guardsmen get curb stomped.
No. They get turned into tables. That's what we said earlier.
They get turned into tables. Chaos, let's do like Chaos Space Marines again. Pitbull against Luda Toddlers in a playground. They don't stand a chance. Same with Chaos Demons, but it just gets worse and worse. The worst being Pukoi up against Nurgle or Slanesh. Again, Nurgle is like Khorne against Guardsmen is literally a really big Pitbull against Toddlers, an even bigger one. TIE, they just get flattened. I don't know what Guardsmen could do up against TIE. I feel like TIE, again, would just be... They operate very similar to Guardsmen, but just far more competently and way less wasted.
I can't wait for the chat session to tell us how wrong we are.
Yeah. No, you don't get it. Balls of steel, man. Do you not know the meme? Balls of... Oh, but...
You just hold the line, bro. Guys, I don't...
You don't get it. They held the line, and they didn't just hold the line. What else did they do? They fucking
They held the line and fucked your mom, bro.
yeah. Oh my fucking god. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Guardsmen. I think Guardsmen are great. I think they're one of the best aspects of 40k. I wouldn't do half as many videos talking about Guardsmen if I didn't enjoy them, you know, but...
They're squandered.
Yeah, they kind of are. But again, maybe that's my love of World War One. You know the problem is, right? So
you dirty Krieger lover.
No, so if you look at World War One, the reason why, like, the thing is, you need to remember people like Haig, who nowadays they called like a butcher. Haig was seen as one of the most competent generals in World War One because he was willing to try new things, and he did try new things. Now, a lot of the new things that he did try ended up with tens of thousands dead at the end of the day, but he did work it out eventually, and he didn't keep to the same tactics, you know? And again, you could also argue that, what else did he do? What did he do? It was like, well, they did break through eventually. Or a good one that I see all the time, people going about Churchill opening up Gallipoli. Well, what was the other alternative? Either they open a new front and go into Turkey, which is seen as an easy enemy, or they just spend another few 100,000 lives in France for the next couple of weeks. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? What other options do you have? I think it's very easy for people looking back and sitting back from like a very godlike perspective and being able to be like, look, bro, I'm going to tell Napoleon how he could have won Waterloo. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I feel.
It's easy, bro. God.
Trust me, man. I know exactly what I'm talking about.
If you just see this aerial map of the entire location, you couldn't see.
Yeah, if only they had just known about they actually kept these in reserve. Oh no, but you don't get it. Like, I know about you don't get it. Like, I have all the maps and all the data, and I know exactly how it turned out at the end of the day. You just don't, because
Napoleon's a fucking scrub, bro. He doesn't have a fucking GPS.
Yeah. Oh, here, I'll give you a really good one that I find really interesting about Waterloo. So I only found this one out recently, and essentially what it is so apparently Napoleon had a bit of a cold, so he wasn't very well. So his doctor prescribed him opium, which again, pretty much heroin. And essentially, apparently Napoleon actually kind of slept in on the day of the battle. So
you have a throat cold, here's some fucking cocaine.
Yeah, so I'm going to assume that maybe if you could say that maybe was Napoleon like a bit out of it for the battle, and if he wasn't a bit out of it, would he have been more prepared? Would he have won if maybe he didn't have that heroin shot the night before? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, what if birds fall off beats of machine guns? There's no going back or anything like that.
Anyway, look, I think we'll wrap up. I don't know what we've achieved in this video at all, bar going about 40k and say how stupid Guardsmen are, but hey, it's a thing. But that's the thing. Look, the Guardsmen, how many years? They've got literally tens of thousands of years. of experience with the Guardsman. Why have they not learned how to adapt? Why is there no art of war for it? Why is there no field manual? Like, this is what you do when you fight orcs. This is what you do when you fight Eldar. This is what you do when you fight these. You know, you would think there would be a basic field manual of, okay, this is how we should deal with it.
Hey, sir, we found a brigade of orcs. Grab that chest of fucking weapons, grab a fucking vehicle, let's go fucking talk to them for a second. Like,
Yeah.
hey, buds, we know you want to fight. We got that. But what if we gave you these weapons? And over that hill yonder is a whole, like, Chaos Space Marine contingent, huh? You wanna go fight them? I got a fancy little power sword for you. Hey, bo, she got a power sword! You know, that kind of shit. Like, they're orcs. Like,
I could see them clumping you, though. I could see them clumping you just for test night. That's the only thing I could see. But if you put again, okay, Pitbull, room full of children. Why don't we not just funnel the Pitbull to the playground instead? The playground across the
to fight the middle schoolers, yeah.
Yeah, that's all we gotta do. We gotta harness the power of the Pitbull, and that's all we got.
We have to harness the power of the Pitbull.
Yeah, what's the quote about harnessing the power of the atom, harness the power of the Pitbull, and that's all we gotta do to win, you know? Anyway, look, that's where we're gonna wrap up. I feel like if we talk any longer, we're just gonna be going around in circles.
We're at an hour right now.
Yeah, well, I thought this was fun. Hope you guys enjoy. Check out Garpy's links to everything, by the way, and check out all my stuff. And we'll see you in the next video. Hope you enjoy. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
All those moments will be lost in time.